I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, most sellers have a great deal of love for their properties, of course, and sometimes that translates into an unrealistic belief, resulting in mistakes that could really cost them thousands, or the house, in fact, not even selling. So what are the top 5 seller mistakes that can cause a home not to sell, or to sell for a lot less than the home seller expected?
Well, when it's time to sell a home, it's almost like you have to kind of change your thought process about it. Most people love their homes, they've enjoyed their homes, and they live in their home, right? So I would say a majority of the home sellers are living in the home when they put it on the market. But you have to change it to like a house and present it so other people can visualize themselves living there. Some are absolutely beautiful and there's not much to do. Some have their own styles. That's great. But at the end of the day, the buyers decide how much they're going to pay for the house based on the current market conditions. We're still in a very strong market. The prices are still appreciating. If you look back a whole year, we're seeing over 5% appreciation from a year ago. And we were at the big high prices last year. We kind of peaked out in April, and then it just corrected back a little bit. And this correction really has to do with interest rates. So most buyers buy homes based on payments. So you have to make sure you're pricing the home that will make the buyers tell you that they're interested. So just as an example, this morning, I went through a training exercise with my team, and I said, all right, this seller thinks this home is worth this much. But if you look at similar homes that are on the market right now in that neighborhood, similar price range, most of them were asking that high number and have been sitting on the market for 2 months. So that's a problem. That means it's not priced right for the current market conditions. So you really have to look at a lot of different factors to decide where you're going to approach pricing of the home. You can't rely on Zillow. You can't rely on those automated valuations because they're looking backwards too. You have to take a look at the properties that are selling right now. What are those homes like? What are their price ranges? How long did it take for them to sell and why? We looked at another one this morning that they started out at $400,000, and every single week for 8 weeks, they lowered the price $5,000 until they finally got a contract. That's just painful. I'm sorry, but that's somebody that really didn't know how to price it right. And they dealt with week after week after week after week of showings and agents criticizing it and buyers picking other homes. That's not the way I like to approach it. But again, at the end of the day, the seller decides where they're going to set the price. The market decides how much it's going to sell for. And a home is a great place. It's where you can unwind and relax and enjoy and have some peace and quiet for the most part. So it is definitely a transition when you go on the market. And that means that when you're preparing to put your home on the market, there should be a little preparation so that it shows really well. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I've been here in real estate, doing real estate now since the late 90s. My company is Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. We actually offer guarantees for our home sales. I have helped thousands of people sell their home. I've helped hundreds of sellers get top dollar for their homes just in the past couple of years. And sometimes I get bidding wars, but not always. So if you're thinking of making a move and you want to know what your home will sell for, you want to know how to prepare your home for sale, how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells, we'd love to do that free, no obligation consultation with you. You could just call us at 719-301-3900. So let's talk about the 5 seller mistakes when selling your home. Number 1 is failure to make important improvements. What do I mean by important? So not every home has to be completely remodeled. The one I just showed you in the last segment, Richard, it wasn't remodeled. It was all 70s, but in good condition. All they did was carpet because the carpet was very, very worn, and it ended up selling almost like a remodeled home. But buyers really want to be able to move in, drop their stuff, and get on with their lives. Most of them don't want a full-on remodel. There is a segment of investor population or owner-occupant population that does like to come in and fix up things, but you really can't bank on that. You know, you can't even offer like a carpet credit because, first of all, most lenders don't like it, right? They'll say, no, you're incentivizing the buyer with cash. You can't do that. All you can do is pay the buyer's closing costs. But on balance, when a buyer buys the home, they want to move in and live in the home, and then they maybe could do a kitchen and bath, but flooring's a problem. So that's number one. So you want to consider some realistic upgrades, in particular flooring, and make sure you're fixing any obvious broken things. And then when we get ready for pictures, we want to make sure that we're focusing on the key rooms: curb appeal, living room, kitchens, baths, master bathroom. Those rooms are really important. We don't necessarily have to take pictures of the inside of closets because they just don't photograph well. Same with garages. So the number two mistake is making those improvements late after you've gone on the market. Oh, okay, I'll finally replace the carpet. Okay, I'll finally paint that fuchsia colored wall. It's too late because you really want to go on the market in the first 10 to 15 days, being priced right and looking a wow. If there's anything that looks like deferred maintenance, the buyers are going to turn their nose up on it, especially if you're priced at retail values. The only exception to that is if you're offering the home at a really deeply discounted price as a what they call a TLC, which, Richard, when you see the acronym TLC, needs tender loving care, in the description of a home for sale, to me, that's code for this home is totally trashed and it needs a lot of work. Did you know that?
That is code for me as well. And honestly, I'm not a handyman. I look at that and I think to myself, this is to some degree a fixer upper, and it's over my head. And I do want to walk in, drop my stuff, get on with my life. I don't want to have to pull this out, do this, do that. Yeah, TLC is a big red flag to me.
Yeah, and there is a small segment of the population that likes to fix up things. Maybe they have the talent and the time, but I would say majority of people just want it done, right? The number two mistake, of course, is pricing too high, which we spent a lot of time on that in the last segment. But in general, if you overprice a home and slowly walk the price down, according to national statistics, you're going to net less money. You want to be the best home in your $50,000 increment in the neighborhood. So you should price your home realistically, or what some people call a fair price, versus optimistically, hoping for the moon. And we can show you how to do that. The number four mistake, of course, is allowing bad images to be put on your property online. This is absolutely critical. If there are bad photos of the home, a majority of them are going to pass the home by. They're not even going to drive by the neighborhood. They're not even going to take the time to drive by if the pictures are bad. Okay, so marketing is absolutely important, especially nowadays when the images are so high quality. Like, here's an example, Richard, of a home that was marketed during the peak, during the boom. And there were several pictures of this home that was just junky. You know, you've got 2 trash bags in a closet and all the stuff on the shelves. What does that make a $600,000 home look more valuable? The answer is no.
Not at all.
And so it sat on the market. That's how I find these pictures. If they're sitting on the market too long, that tells me something's wrong. And then the number 5 mistake is to try to sell the home on your own, in particular to save the commission. So most of these homes are priced with a commission expense in mind. Would you rather have a professional do it, or would you do it yourself? There are some people that could sell their own home more power to them. I hope it works out for them. It might be fine. It could be a nightmare. Okay. But some of the surprises that could take place if you sell a home on your own would really be an issue. Things like not providing the buyer with the proper disclosures for the property and causing litigation to happen after closing. Nobody wants to go to court. I know you were a lawyer, Richard,
But these are minefields. I tell people all the time that the more I listen to you, Barb Schlinker, the more I realize, and not on every transaction, but on a lot of transactions, how easy it is for this to happen, for that to happen. We talked about some of the scams where people lose $20,000, $30,000. They think it's going to their closing and poof, it's gone. I want to have somebody like you that I can trust.
Right. And even an inexperienced agent can harm you. So like recently I had somebody that came to me and purchased my listing after having a really bad experience with a real estate agent that was actually trying to unduly influence them to close on a home that the seller did not perform according to the agreement. And they kept promising, oh, don't worry, they'll do it after closing, which, that's not going to happen. Right. And if you don't close on this home, we're going to keep your deposit. I mean, they were actually threatening this young couple. I couldn't believe it. So there's crazy stuff that goes on out there, and you can say no, and you can pick somebody that basically has your back. So that's what we do for our clients. And you could call us anytime at 719-301-3900. Richard?
All right, time for the lightning round of the hot new listings. Barb Schlinker, I get out of the way and I let you roll.
All right, the first one's open this weekend. Fabulous home, 456 Riverside Drive, completely remodeled, 3 bedrooms plus an office. It's alongside Fountain Creek at the end of a cul-de-sac with great views, completely remodeled, priced under $350,000. Another home on 4671 North Crimson, adorable, priced at $375,000. Quartz counters, is so cute. 1422 Iowa Avenue, priced at $435,000, over 2,500 square feet. Great home. Also 1755 Wood Park Drive in Claremont Ranch, very close to Peterson Air Force Base, priced at $455,000. We have a beautiful 5-acre property with a massive 2-car garage at 6015 Good Fortune Road, priced at $525,000. A spectacular remodeled downtown Victorian at 550 East Platte with a double deep lot and a buggy barn, which could be used as a garage in the back. An amazing home at 3620 Tapestry Terrace, close to Cottonwood Park, priced at $489,000 with a finished basement. An amazing property on almost 10 acres, priced at $299,000 with views up in Florissant. An amazing home also up in Divide at 735. This home has completely been remodeled. It has a detached garage that'll carry 4 big trucks plus a workshop, and it's incredible. A stunning home with gorgeous views at 1025 Garlock Court, 1.29 million. A gorgeous home down by the Broadmoor, 6205 Colfax Terrace, priced at, they just lowered the price actually to $1,045,000. And then another one opened this weekend at 3485 Brisbane Drive. And this fabulous Briargate home backs to a walking trail in pristine condition. And I have another one coming up on Red Cardinal Loop. That's a fabulous 2-story. So if you'd like to find out about all of our coming soon homes, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You've been listening to The Real Estate Voice. It airs every weekend. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. If you didn't hear the entire show, that's not a problem. You can see replays of the show at barbhasthebuyers.com, or it'll link you over to podcast where you can listen to the entire show on a podcast, platforms like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Want to thank you for listening this weekend. Reach out to Barb at 719-301-3900. Have a great week. Barb, look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you. Have a great week as well.